All right, guys, I'm gonna get rolling here. I'm John Reagan from University of Kansas, offensive line coach, run game coordinator, talking about pass pro. So hopefully as a run game coordinator, I have some idea how to teach pass pro on the O-line. Guys, when we talk about pass protection fundamentals, and what I've got here is what I believe our fundamentals are, and then I'll go through some drills that we use, and then I'll show you a tape of us doing some of those drills, not all of them, obviously, and we may not have a whole lot of tape time as we go, because I want to get you the basis of for what these drills are worth, all right? Because without that basis, watching the tape doesn't do you any good. Basic concepts that are very important to me. I don't think, guys, you can start teaching pass protection by teaching a guy just to block the guy across from him. I think there is a concept that they've got to understand. First and foremost, we are going to force an outside rush, period. I don't care if I'm a guard, I don't care if I'm a tackle, and I will find a way to teach my centers to understand exactly what I'm talking about on an outside rush. All right? We're going to force an outside rush. Now, all of us, including me, say to our kids all the time, don't let him beat you inside. Okay? So as he gets in that two-point stance on 3rd and 12, what's he thinking about? Don't get beat inside. Don't get beat inside. Don't get beat inside. All right? That's not what I want. Okay? Because then they're reacting to everything the defensive lineman does. Okay? I want them in their stance thinking, force an outside rush. So it doesn't matter what the defensive lineman does. He knows how to react because he's going to force an outside rush, not get beat inside. Okay? Second, the offensive linemen have got to understand what the launch point on a play is. Okay? In our offense, we're going to run 5-step drop. We're going to run 3-step drop. We're going to run quick 5, for lack of a better term. 5-step hit and throw. Okay? Where we're not down the field on those throws, but it's also not as quick as 3-step. We're going to run bootleg. We're going to run play action. All of those things are not the same to the offensive lineman. If I tell my right tackle to block all of them exactly the same way, and the quarterback's setting up right behind his inside leg instead of behind the center, we got a problem. All right? The third thing that probably I don't do as good a job of, I don't know if anybody does, is they've got to understand the timing of routes. Offensive linemen hear 3-step drop, and you know what that means to them? Quarterback's going to drop back about 4 or 5 yards. Okay? It never in their mind necessarily, unless you help them, does it click that he's going to throw the ball quick. Right? Until about the 5th or 6th practice when the defensive tackles have given up trying to rush 3-step drop and knock the ball down. And you're screaming your head off because you've worked punch over the top one time in those first 5 practices. All right? And why don't you understand this timing? Okay, well, maybe we haven't coached it, all right? So those are the 3 basic concepts before anything happens that have to get started, all right, that have to be taught, all right? Force an outside rush, no launch point, understand timing. We start talking about body position. All right, and we're going to talk about 4 different parts of that body position. First and foremost, okay, we're going to talk about their feet. All right, now, I want their feet, guys. I get screwed up by this thing. So I want them just wider than shoulder width. Okay, that sounds ambiguous. There's no right underneath the armpits or anything like that. Guys, a guy that is 6'7" is going to have a different pass pro stance, just like he has a different stance than your 5'10" center. Okay? Because his legs are different, his power angles are different, his hips are in different places. Okay, his knees are in different places. So they're going to be slightly different. But basically, most of them, if you tell them slightly wider than shoulder width, you're in a pretty good situation where they've got a wide enough base, all right, that they're not going to fall over like a weeble wobble, all right, but they're not going to be so wide that they can't move either. The next thing is a comfortable stagger. Again, this is not, everybody, a lot of people, there's nothing wrong, it's just a different concept. Teach basically toe-to-toe concept, all right, in their stagger. I don't, all right. We've got a power foot and a kick foot because we're going to force an outside rush. That's where I start. A lot of guys start, we're going to mirror a rush. Makes sense to have a balanced stance. Okay, but we're going to have a stagger. And when I talk about stagger, again, took this for granted one time. All right, the kid knew what I meant by stagger. I'm talking about the distance between their one heel and their other toe. All right, that there is a distance there. Okay, so we need that comfortable stagger. So basically, for me at 6'5", there's probably, 3 inches. Because I don't want them so tight that when I ask them to start bending down, they got to really, 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 really bend, because then their knees get out in front of their toes and we're in trouble. All right, so a comfortable stagger there. And we'll put the whole thing together and it'll make sense. Second, back and shoulders, all right, are going to be upright. Okay, when we're in the running game, I'm still a firm believer, as best I can. I want chest on the knee and good power positions, chest on the knee, eyes up, hands inside. When we get to pass pro, I obviously can't feel the same way, because as soon as my shoulders come forward, I'm in beat. So I'm upright. Okay? Here's the concept that I use to these guys. Figuratively, you can all do this right now. Hopefully, I know coaching's gotten a little bit crazy, but hopefully none of us will try this literally. All right? Take a broomstick, drill a hole in the top of your head. We'd like to do it. All right? Drill a hole in the top of your head, insert the broomstick straight down the top of your head. All right? Have it go right along the spinal column, and there's only one place for it to exit. We're all on the same page here. I'm on video. And we're all on the same page. It's coming out, number 2 spot. Okay, so that's what we got. We want to stay in that position because that broomstick has now been inserted. All right? In a pass pro position, regardless of movement or anything else, we want to stay in that position. Now, here's where this is why I use this concept. If I start going forward in my pass pro position and that broomstick is inserted, what's happening down here? You guys are all scared. It's getting ripped, right? Painful. Same thing if I go side to side, right? Or even back. A lot of guys talk about, getting as far away and all that and leaning back. I don't want that either. Right down the middle. So that part of my body, I've controlled my upper body, I've controlled my feet. Now, what do we got to do? Okay, we got to work on our knees. All right, there's a concept. Seated on a chair. Feet are shoulder width apart, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Good stagger. Okay, insert broomstick. I'm keyed into it. All right. Now, all I want, the knee bend. Everybody talks about power angles, and I don't disagree. We're trying to create power angles. I'm just telling you how I teach the guys to create that power angle. All right. Take the broomstick, take the butt. That's a low chair. All right. And sit it down straight on that chair. All right, as if there's a chair. Just sit it straight down on that chair. Okay, now, the broomstick's there, so I can't plop back, can't fall forward like I'd like to do sitting down every time I do, hoping somebody's looking at my rear end as I sit down. That ain't it. Okay, broomstick's inserted, sit it down on the chair. Okay, that's the knee, and again, that chair is way too low for the concept I'm trying to teach. Now, I don't want my guys to be so low, and that's why I put the chair away. I don't want them to be so low that now everything is in their knees. Everything's down in their legs. Too much weight down there. Okay, too much muscle restriction. If they were all 700-pound squatters, hell yeah, I want them down there. All right, but most of them aren't. Okay, so we're in a good body position. We're in a good upright deal. All right, now we're bending. We're pinning the knees inside. Basic concept of physiology. Your power's in your hips, right? We all agree with that. We all coach that. Okay, your hips go where your knees go, right? Okay, all right. Your knees go where your toes go. Everything's got to be going straight ahead. Knees have got to be inside our hips. Once our knees get outside our hips, where are our hips going? Outside. We lose our power. We lose our ability to do what we need to do, and that's, force the outside rush on the defender across from us. Okay, so toes are still square. Big thing you got to coach against. Okay, that back foot. All right, the first thing that's going to happen when they go to sit down, it's going to open up because there's not enough strength in the hips. Just coach the heck out of it. Do wall sits, do whatever you got to do. Hands and arms. I was taught that I was going to take a picture. Arms out straight, take a picture, look through that picture. Okay? As I did that, I realized I never blocked anybody like that. Never did it. Because as soon as I was done taking that picture, you know how he told me to punch? With my thumbs up. Well, that's a pretty bad camera. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. He had a point of what he was trying to do. He was trying to get our hands up, all right, to take the picture. But to me, I want the guys, I don't want them to be stiff. So, I want their hands in a boxer's position. Okay? What's a boxer do? Protects his chin, right? I want them to protect their chin. Okay? It's that simple. Elbows inside so the uppercuts can't come through. Because when I go to punch, I want my elbows inside, my hands inside. All right? And thumbs up. So rather than be fisted, my thumbs are up, out a little bit, but thumbs are up, elbows inside, boxer's position. Okay, as I get down to that power position, feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width. Okay, pretty good stagger. I'm a little bit taller. Plus, I'm getting older. Okay, broomstick in. Sit down on the chair. Okay, try to keep those knees pinned inside. All right, elbows are inside, thumbs are up and out, boxer position, protecting my chin. The next thing that I do, all right, is I want to teach him the position on the defender that I want him in to force what? Outside rush, okay? And this is the term I use, and I've heard it a ton of different ways. Okay, I want inside 2/3, Coach, if you don't mind, okay? If I'm playing left side, my left foot's back. I want to be inside 2/3 on Coach Johnson here. All right, here's what I want. This is what inside 2/3 means. 2/3 of my body is on his body. Okay? But I'm slightly inside. Okay? That's what inside 2/3 means. I'm covering the inside 2/3 of his body. A lot of guys use the term eye to eye. All right? It's a little bit too much for me because I think the guy gets to my hip too quick. But again, it's what your kids understand. All right? There may be some term in your local area that makes a lot of sense. I want to keep the defenders at arm's length. Okay? All you guys a lot of you guys coach both sides of the ball, and those D linemen are taught get into their body. You can't win on the defensive line of pass rush till you've cleared the hip, right? If I don't ever let you get to my hip, Coach Bernard, can you ever win? No. Not unless I'm running backwards away from you, right? So it can't happen. All right. So I want to keep the defender at arm's length. There's a lot of ways to do that, and I'll talk about it as we go. You do it with a punch. All right. You do it with your footwork. Okay, but you keep them at arm's length. The control, here's the control factor. All right, if this is a moving being, all right, if it's inside my body, my arms being locked out, it can do a lot of different things to me, right? Can turn me, I have less control. Okay, now, I may have less strength in a lot of different directions, but when my arms are locked out, there's not much that chair is going to do except run through me. Okay? I don't have as much strength, the other stuff, but he's at arm's length away. I don't have to react to it as much. Okay? Well, I want to keep him at arm's length, and so I use the term drive the car. And all these guys understand that now because they see all those guys and those pimps in the videos that are sitting back and just, and they're hoopties driving the car. That's the concept I want them to have. Keeping things at arm's length. All right? Be cool with it. All right? So drive the car. Okay? Now, something I never coached well, I was never coached on. It came to me because, again, it's one of those things where you don't really learn coaching unless you talk to you can talk to coaches all the time, but all this clinic stuff sounds great. If it doesn't work for your players, it doesn't mean anything. Okay? So talk to your players. All right? I never coached what I really wanted them to look at. I told them to say inside 2/3. And I said where he goes, you go, you stay inside 2, all that kind of good stuff. But what does he actually look at? It's important, all right? Because eventually it's going to be what they try to punch, okay? Eyes on the top of the numbers, all right? Everybody understand what I'm saying? Hey, I'm going to teach them to punch the top of the numbers. Why would I tell them to look at anything else? Right? All of us probably use a concept from basketball of looking at the belly button or looking at the buckle. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great for a mirror drill and for basketball, isn't it? All right? And there's, again, you may be able to get your kids to do it. But for me to tell them to look at the belt buckle and punch the numbers doesn't make sense. Movement. We are always going to stay square. We only have two movements. Okay? We have a power step to the inside, which is why we use a stagger. All right? Because when we get any kind of inside rush, we're going to force that guy where? Good. All right? So we're going to power step. It's going to be strong, powerful to the inside. Okay? To the outside, we use a kick slide. Okay? And I'll go through these in a second. All right? During this whole thing now, don't forget that broomstick. All right, keep the weight down the middle. All right, and here's the concept I use with my, and this is where I said I'm going to contradict myself. All right, once I figured out the word I wanted to use. I want them to be very athletic in their lower body, but I want them to lock up that upper body. All right, because I want them kind of like a sniper on the trigger. I want their body so locked in, when it's time to pull the trigger, they're ready to pull it. All right. And that helps them keep that concept of having an athletic lower body and lock in the upper body, helps them keep that broomstick going. All right? But it's got to be broomstick because a lot of them will start getting like this to do it. All right? Broomstick right down the middle. Now, power step to the inside. Real simple concept, guys. I got my stagger foot. I'm a left side lineman. My right foot's inside. Okay? I apologize for the guys in the back not having a stage here. Okay? Next time I'll build that and throw it in my bag too. Okay? What I do to the inside, it's a flat and it's power. Weight down the middle, bam! All right? Getting that foot on the ground as quick as I can. And it's quick. And it's a reaction to the defender. Okay? Bam! Quick power step. Outside foot steps with it naturally. Okay? Just steps with it naturally. There's no overkick. The whole key to movement, guys, is this. Once I've created that lower body power position, all I can ever do is widen it and come back to base. I never narrow it and then come back to base, because that's when I get myself in trouble. I only widen it and come back to base. That's why it's important that when you get those guys in the stagger, even those tall guys, you don't let them get huge staggers. Because now for them to do anything, if I need to move inside, I can't move my inside foot. I got to move my outside foot, and now the defender has gained a step on me because I haven't gone anywhere. That's our inside movement. Our outside movement, okay? Again, a left side lineman, my right foot inside. Okay? Body's locked in. I get any kind of outside rush, any kind of threat, or I'm setting that way. It's an over kick. I've over staggered. All right? Kick and then slide back to power. Okay? And the quicker they get used to those movements, and I'll tell you some drills that we do to get those things going, all right, the better off they're going to be. All right, now the punch. This is the part that I wasn't taught enough of, and now I probably don't teach enough of it. But all we're talking about is a 6-inch punch. All right? We want to keep our hands up all the time. You know, I'm a firm believer, the hardest thing that I have to do as a pass pro, as an offensive lineman and pass pro, is to punch my hands to the top of the numbers and get my hands extended. Once that happens, I don't ever want to break it down. I'm not a guy that believes punch, retract, repunch, any of that stuff. I think once you get them inside, it's like driving that car. Keep them there. All right? Keep them there. All right? And with that punch, this is what makes contact. The heel of the hand. All right? But it doesn't make it like that. All right? Because as soon as thumbs go down, where do the elbows go? Out. Okay? Thumbs go up. Elbows stay in. All right? We want to lock out the elbows. With some of the, you know, a lot of guys talk about near hand punch, and I do with some of my guys that are ready for it. Most of them aren't. We talk about a near hand punch where it's a quick 2-punch. All right, it's a quick jab and then replace with the inside hand if it's an outside rush. If it's an inside defender, near hand and outside hand. Okay? It's a little bit more advanced for the guys. Punching the top of the numbers. Here's the punch, guys. I'm not kidding you. All right, here's the punch. There. That's it. That's all I'm teaching. There. Now, the part that's not taught with the punch enough, this, I already just said it, it ain't going to stop anybody. Okay? But when I punch here and brace my outside foot and put all my weight down and put my muscles underneath me, now I got a chance on an outside rush. If I get an inside rush and I brace and I get my butt down and I sit as I punch with that 6-inch punch, my hips are my power. You guys all agreed with that, right? I don't got much left. Okay? But that's it. Let's use it. Let's believe in it. Let's teach it. Okay? So as we punch, we have got to brace the lower body. Okay? And if it's an inside rush and we're going to force an outside rush, we got to power step and brace with that inside foot. Okay? Once we've done that, we're going to get an outside rush and we're going to brace and punch with our outside foot. And the key to the brace is this, guys, on the outside. A lot of them, when they go to brace with that outside hand, that outside foot, that foot's going to go straight back. Okay, coach, again, if you don't mind. All right? If my foot, as he's rushing my outside, if it goes straight back and he's coming up the field, how do I have to react to him? Open the gate is the term I use. And all of us know once the gate's open, it's all over. What has to happen as I punch, guys, inside 2/3, as I punch, that brace has got to flatten just a little bit. All right? Because that's what allows me as I punch and he's rushing outside to stay on that inside 2/3 position and keep everything square. All right? Okay, now, we've taught them how to be in a good pass pro position. Right? We've taught them what position on the defender we want them in. We've taught them how to move and stay in that position. We've taught them how to brace, all right, once they've engaged. And once that happens, to me, the pass block should be over, all right, if we've done a good job. What we haven't taught them is how to get out of their stance into that position. All right, and again, probably one of the things I don't rep enough would like to. And again, for us, there's two different deals, okay? There's a 5-step drop, and what I call pass sets, and we do sets on air. It's the first thing you'll see. 5-step drop, all right? I've got to work outside set. Got to work a guy that's an outside rush. On a tackle, that's a wide rush, all right? And I'm going to work vertical on a wide rush at the level I'm at. I've got to work head up. If I've got a head up guy, and I've got to get to the inside, I've got to be an inside 2/3, okay? I got to understand, is it a 5-step drop or a 3-step drop? If it's a 5-step drop, I'm going to give a little bit of ground to get him at arm's length, a lot easier because I know I have a little ground to give, then I'm going to take it on. All right? If it's a 3-step drop, I ain't giving no ground. Because as soon as I start giving ground, he sees 3-step drop, it becomes bull rush and jump. That's what every D-line coach teaches, bull rush and jump on 3-step drop. Okay? So I got to be flat, ready to go. Okay? So you got to understand, it's a little bit different, and you've got to drill them differently. Okay? And it's got to fit what you do. Guys, here's the drills. For body position, we're going to do pass demeanor statue. Remember what I said? Sitting in that position. All right, just sitting there. Building up strength in the hips. Okay? We're going to coach body position and everything else that we do. Every drill I do in pass pro, I'm talking about I'm talking about body position. All right, so I don't do a whole lot of drills just for that. All right, but coach it in every drill I do. For movement, we're going to do movement on air, 3 directions. Okay? We're going to do it on air. I'm going to line them all up. I'm going to say, everybody on the left side, you got an inside rush. Okay? You got the power step 3 times the inside. Whistle, 3 steps. Boom, here we go, power step. Locking the upper body in, athletic lower body. All right? We do it to the outside. Okay? And then we do it outside comes inside. All right? Because we always, we want to change direction up. Then we do a pass wave drill. No different than the wave drill everybody does, but now we put them in a pass pro position, and if I point this way and they're the left-sided lineman, okay, they're going to kick slide. If I point that way, they're going to power step. They're not going to switch their feet and shuffle. Okay? It's just, I mean, it makes sense. To work position on a defender, we do sets on air so that we can get to that position. We do set and punch, and we do them both, 3-step and 5-step. You got to practice them both. You can't do 3-step, then go 5-step drop and expect guys to have good sets. Okay? We work mirror drill, like everybody does. Punch drills. All right, we do punch time. I do a lot of these now, guys, because we're not good at it. All right, we do punch timing on air. You'll see them just doing this on air. Boom, boom. All right, boom, boom. Just trying to get that brace. It's not natural. There's nothing natural about it. Static punch, where a guy's coming at him, boom, all they do is punch. A static punch. Then we do rifle, what I call a rifle punch, where they're moving, and it's a rifle down the line. All right, then we do a weave punch with 3 guys coming at him, so they've got to move, punch an outside guy, I'll point at the inside or whatever, get him moving like a wave drill.